Hello everyone, Bob Lutz and Paul Sulentrop in a postseason appearance. We didn't expect to make the postseason this year, but we've done it. Gregg Marshall has done even better. 7 years in the neighborhood of $3 million per year that Wichita State has stepped up to pay him in the wake of overtures from Alabama. What's happened here, Paul?
Yeah, I think this is send a lot of shockwaves through college basketball. Wichita State getting up into this range, according to USA Today's list of coaching salaries. He'll be in the top 10 nationally, and that's we did not expect to be at this point 5 years ago. I don't think.
Yeah, the leadership at the university, they're obviously willing to step up and keep this guy at Wichita State. The rewards are obvious. He takes them to NCAA tournaments now every year, 4 in a row. A Final Four, a Sweet 16, a win over Kansas. The list goes on and on. Have you been able to speak to Marshall, and what do you think was the bottom line for him?
Now, I haven't talked to him. I think, like it always has been with him, I think family was real important. I think his comfort level in Wichita and at Wichita State was real important, because even though he's getting a significant raise, around $1 million raise, he's still giving Wichita State a little bit of a hometown discount. Certainly, he could have gotten more.
Yeah, Gregg Marshall stays. Lynn Marshall, we believe, has something to do with these decisions, of course, as his wife. She's made no bones about it. She loves Wichita. She feels like this is home.
Yeah, and he's always been upfront about that. I think that's why they spent 9 years at Winthrop. They didn't want to uproot their family. I think it was when they came to Wichita State, they made that clear too, that family was a big part of this decision, and they just don't want to bounce around every 3 or 4 years like some coaches have to.
I was on a radio show earlier today in Springfield with Ned Reynolds, and boy, you talk about a reaction that this is going to get not only in Wichita and nationally, but what about the Missouri Valley Conference, and where do these other programs, how do they try to battle against something like this?
Yeah, this has a lot of ramifications for the Valley, for Wichita State. I think most Valley programs are already kind of fighting upstream against Wichita State. They just don't have the combination of resources and tradition and support and all that. And this is just another sign of where Wichita State is and where 9 other schools are.
And what does this say about Wichita State's lack of football, which people have been concerned about now for close to 30 years? No football program allows Wichita State to step up and do something like this with their basketball coach, in my opinion.
Definitely. I think if that argument wasn't already finished, I think probably whatever the date of the April 1st, 2013 kind of finished that argument. I mean, you don't need a football program to succeed big in basketball, and Wichita State has proven that the last few years.
Shocker fans can relax, rejoice today, but some other concerns just around the corner, and they involve players. Ron Baker, Fred Van Vliet, their future as Shockers. What are you expecting there?
I think we'll have to let the process play out over the next, few weeks, and they'll gather information, and then we'll find out, where they think they are. What's your opinion on Ron Baker and Fred Van Vliet?
My opinion is that they're both outstanding players. I don't know that I see them as NBA guys. I just don't know. I'm not a scout. I'm not an evaluator. I know Ron Baker started the season shooting the ball extremely well, didn't end the season shooting the ball extremely well, and that's really what he has to do at that level. He has to be able to be not a Kyle Korver, but a Kyle Korver type, a guy that can shoot long range. Fred is a tremendous college point guard. I expect him to be back. I'm not so sure about Baker.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Ron's further down that road. He's been here 4 years. He'll graduate in May, so that's one important factor. Neither one of them seem to be first-round locks. I think we can say that. So then you kind of put yourself in that second round where you don't have a guaranteed contract, and that seems to be a much tougher decision, and we'll see what kind of information they gather.
So Gregg Marshall back in the fold at Wichita State, making Paul Sulentrop money. We'll talk to you as the road continues.